how do you lead in a time like this? You have 13 million constituents in Illinois. How do you think about reassuring people that things are going to be okay in an environment that's so uncertain? And particularly for you, do you fear your safety at all?
Well, thanks for asking. And let me start by saying that, we do live in perilous times. This is, unprecedented in my lifetime. Uh, the the physical violence, the threat that has seemed to have pervaded politics now, is something I've never seen before. I have had threats. I've had a couple of people who've been prosecuted for the threats against me. They've increased over the last year or so. In fact, less than a year. Um, and so I'm not just concerned about my own family and myself, but really about what's happening broadly. I was in Minnesota on Friday night, actually speaking at the DFL in Minnesota with the former speaker who was assassinated. She was there, and just a few hours later, unfortunately, she was attacked and killed. Governor Walz called me on Saturday morning early. We had been together that night at the event, and to let me know what had happened. It's unfathomable. And of course, we now find out, he had a list of 70 people in Minnesota were on a, I don't know, they've described that as a hit list, and then apparently he did a lot of research about others across the Midwest, including in Illinois. Now that was, as the FBI has told me, not a hit list so much as a lot of research on his part, but nevertheless frightening, right? And so, if you ask me, we are in perilous times, and the only way to deal with this at the moment is first to let every public official know that they need to stay safe and keep their families safe in every way that they can. Second, we've got to speak up and speak out about this. I know that it feels dangerous to do that, but this is the moment, if ever. I built a Holocaust museum, and I can tell you that in 1933, 34, 35 in Berlin, this is what was happening. People were being threatened. The laws were changing to target certain groups of people, starting with immigrants, and then label and vilifying immigrants, and then labeling Jews and others as immigrants, as if they're not pure German, and therefore they're just immigrants, even if they had lived for generations in Germany and had been German citizens, and were even elected to public office. So I think this is the world I'm afraid that we may be living in now. And I'm not suggesting that it leads to what happened in Germany, but I am suggesting that the end of the constitutional republic as we know it could be happening now. And I think we all need to speak up and speak out, and do more than that, show up to protest.